Hi everyone. This week parasha is parashat ki-Tetze, and this parasha I have different issues to deal with, and I will try to touch a few of the aspects that can be very relevant to our life. It speaks about the fact that when a person goes out, when a nation goes out to launch a war against an enemy, and is asking whose enemies you are going out to the war with. And the Torah is telling us that this is the evil inclination, that the person need to decide to go and to launch a war against the evil inclination. And instead to wait till he comes and to attack us, we need in advance to attack the evil inclination before that it get to our field and our territory. So the question is, because the evil inclination is something, is a spiritual force, how do you attack the evil inclination? How do you have the technology to face the evil inclination? And for that God is telling us in the Bible, I created the evil inclination, I created the antidote, the spice against him, which is the study of the Torah. When a person is deciding and giving time to constant study of spirituality and constant study of the Torah, then it will give him the strength to be able first to see more, to feel more, and probably the ability, not probably, but to give the ability to and the strength to face the evil inclination. The reason that I'm saying probably depends on how much we invest into that study. How much do we believe that the study of the Torah can give us the strength? And according to that, we will be able to receive a support system. Especially in our time, the sages are telling us that reading in the Book of Splendor, the Sefer Zohar, the Book of Splendor of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, merely reading even without understanding can give strength to a person and create miracles in our life. So therefore, the enemy is the evil inclination, and the evil inclination exists within every human being, and the antidote is the study of the Torah. There is no other antidote against that force. In the parasha, it's speaking about longevity, it's speaking about prolonging life. And the place where it's dealing with, it's immediately after that speaks about a nest of birds and so on. I won't go into the all details, and it completes there with longevity. It's speaking about the fact if you do such and such, you'll have long life. Immediately after that, it's written when you will build a new home. When a person is deciding to bring a new house, a new home, and it says over here by the commentaries that the main longevity is for building a new house. It's not speaking about the house that we think about, it speaks about the house of God, which is the temple, in the Temple Mount. Because that in fact today we cannot go and build physically the Temple Mount, then there are two other possibilities. One, every synagogue in the world is considered to be a small temple. It's part of the energy of the all-inclusive force that is being revealed in the mountain and in the Temple Mount, in the temple that was built there. So therefore, when someone supports today a synagogue, it is as he is helping to build a temple. And by that, by supporting a synagogue, a person is increasing the possibility of long life. The other thing is that building a temple is something which is spiritual as well, when a person is building a temple inside of himself. And therefore, when a person is working on building a temple inside, which means that when we study the Torah and we learn about correcting our attributes and to do good deeds and so on, and we are working on it and we are improving ourselves, it's considered as we are building a temple inside of ourselves. This also helps for longevity when it's done in the proper manner. So it's giving us two advices for longevity by building a temple, internal one and external one. And as I said, the external one is the synagogue. Now, speaking about when a person is building a new home, there is one of the precepts that one of the things that the person should do is should do a roof railing, which means if you have a roof that people can climb up to and go up to, then there is a danger that they might fall down. So therefore, you need to have a railing. But in the Gemara is saying that when a person is building a house, he needs to watch out from three major things that can be a possibility, God forbid, and danger of someone dying as a result. One is the roof, that you need a roof railing, but the Talmud is giving us two other things as well. He's speaking about a ladder, that if a person have a ladder in his house, and the ladder is not good enough that someone can climb on the ladder and fall down from the ladder and possibly die from the falling, then we should be careful not to have such ladder in our house. The other thing he says, not to have a bad dog in the house. We know in fact, I don't know what's happening all over the world, but I know in fact that in Israel, in several cases, it was horrible cases. A dog that lived in a house that was the people took care of a certain dog from the types that are dangerous to people, that are attack dogs, and the dog attack people that are living in that house. And the biggest danger is when it was children that the dogs attacked. And I'm sorry to say that in some cases the story did not end in a nice way. So the Talmud is telling us over 1500 years ago, don't have a bad dog in the house because it's dangerous. So it's giving us these three things that we need to be careful from while building a new house and having our home. Now, in the spiritual way, in the Hasidic way, we know that these three are symbols for the spiritual work of a person. So I would like to touch one of them. When speaking about a bad dog, there is a story that when we've been in Egypt, in the exile of Egypt, on the borders, dogs were like guarding the place. This is what it says over there. And in the night that we left Egypt, in the night of Exodus, it says that the dogs of Egypt did not bark at all when we left Egypt. Why to mention that the dogs did not bark while in that night so many miracles took place for the people of Israel? Now, the connection to that is associated with the name of a dog in Hebrew. In Hebrew, the name of a dog is Kelev. This is the way that we pronounce it. Kelev, that it means Kelev, as a heart. This is like the dog is considered to be totally heart. This is why it says that dogs can love people even more than people love people sometimes. The dog can love his owner. This is why some people cannot without dogs, because there is a genuine love in the heart of a dog. But this is just a symbol for us to understand that the Kabbalists are telling us that there is a certain negative force with a shell, an evil force that is called Klipat HaKelev, the shell of the dog, which is in the heart of a person, because a dog is as a heart. And when a person have the wrong belief system in the heart, or the person loves something in a wrong way, there is a certain negativity in the heart of the person that controls him. As that we have a leash to a dog and the dog is tied to the leash, the same way we are tied to as a result of the negativity that exists in our heart. And this especially when we have a certain reality that we believe in, and sometimes we can believe, as this is the negative force, can create us to believe in a wrong system. This is why sometimes people believe in something wrong and they follow it all the way. And you're asking how that person cannot see it. The person cannot see it because in his heart he has that type of negativity that is associated with the heart and with the expression a dog in Hebrew, Kelev. Which means the Torah is telling us that if we want to free ourselves from bondage, We need to cleanse our heart from that type of negativity. And when Exodus took place, in that night, that force, there was light that was revealed in that moment that overcome that force in the heart of the people, and to give the people the option to see that there is beyond, that being in Egypt is really slavery. We need to understand that many years the bondage of and the slavery in Egypt took place altogether 210 years. Most of the years we did not feel the slavery because we were living in an illusion. In our heart, we saw that it's good to live in Egypt. Towards the end, that the yoke and the suffering was enormous, then we started to think that maybe what we feel in our heart is wrong. And then we pray to God to take us out of that bondage. If we are in real slavery, take us out of here. This is when we suffered a lot towards the end of 210 years. Just then we were asking for the help of the light of God. So we need to understand that in our life, many times our wrong perceptions, and especially the belief system that we have in our heart, when we love something totally, the negativity can enter to there, penetrate to there, and through that rule our life. This is why sometimes a person can be inside of a cult, totally loving the target of the cult that is sometimes very honorable target, and cannot see that he's in bondage, cannot see it. And people around can tell the person you are in bondage, and he doesn't see it. Why? Because in his heart he have that type of negativity that doesn't let him see. And if the person would not ask with all his, from the bottom of his heart, if the person would not ask from the bottom of his stomach, from all the organs, for the help of the light of God, then he won't get the strength to go to see differently and to go out of it. A miracle needs to take place that the person will be able to get out from that type of bondage, because it's not external, it's internal in the heart of a person. It goes with the person wherever he goes. This is the type of bondage that we are in, and this is as a result of the evil inclination that is using his tricks to cause us to believe and to love in a wrong way. It's a certain negativity in the heart, and this is the hardest one. This is a very hard one. So therefore, in this portion, we have the opportunity to build a new house. And in a new house, which means if we build ourselves from the beginning, we need to be careful not to have a bad dog inside of our house, which means we need to be careful not to have the wrong belief systems in our heart. This is the meaning of building a new house. Now, what's the connection that suddenly we have this portion this week? Because this is part of the preparation for the new year according to the Jewish calendar. Rosh Hashanah is coming up. And in Rosh Hashanah, we are building a new house. We are rebuilding ourselves from the beginning. It's like a rebirth for the new year. We are building new vessels for the new year. We want new blessing for the new year. So therefore, we need to prepare our house properly. So he's saying, you want to build a new house, you should not have that evil force in your heart. You need to clean your heart from that. So therefore, this is the relationship between this portion of the week as to the Rosh Hashanah that is coming up. So therefore, we have another opportunity to rethink our belief systems about everything in life. Whatever we believe, we need to re-question, and we need to ask the light of God truly to help us to get out from bondage into freedom in all areas of life. We need to understand that definitely, at least in certain areas of our life, we are in bondage that we do not see even that we are in bondage. So we need to ask from the bottom of our heart, as a result of what we are learning here, as a result of what the Torah is teaching us here, that we are in bondage, that we have that negative force inside of our lives, and we need to clean ourselves before the new year is coming up. We need to build a new house without those negative forces. So therefore, I wish to all of us that we will have the strength to ask from the bottom of our heart to go out from slavery into redemption this coming new year, God willing, with all the blessings that's possible to receive in this year. And Shabbat Shalom, and